Hi, welcome back to Waxing On, Wednesday, classic rock. And today we're looking at a band from England, popular in the mid to late 60s, called the Yardbirds. Now the Yardbirds is famous not just for their tunes, they had a big hit with For Your Love, but also for producing three of the great guitar players. Maybe not producing, but having them go through their ranks. We're talking about Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page. Now, I looked through the material. I tried to find out how many albums we had of Jimmy Page's, and there was only the one I could find called Little Games, and it was the fourth album by the band. Now, the unique thing was, Page was not brought into the band as a guitar player. They originally wanted him to replace Clapton, who was leaving, but he came into the band as a bass player. And then when Clapton left, he was bass player for Jeff Beck, and then him and Beck began sharing the lead guitar position, and eventually Jimmy Page was the only guitarist in the band. Now, at the point of this album, Little Games, the band is, I'm just going to move over to the other side here, Keith Rolfe on vocals, harmonic and percussion, Jimmy Page on guitar, Chris Dreja on bass guitar, and Jim McCarty on drums. Now, I was looking for something for early Jimmy Page. I mean, we all know about Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin, and for me, he is one of the great guitar players. I mean, yes, I know Clapton, and hey, I got Clapton music. I got Cream. I got Clapton's solo works. But I'm going to say comparing Clapton to Jimmy Page would be like comparing Chet Baker to Dizzy Gillespie. Yeah, Chet's a great guitar player, great trumpet player, but he doesn't play the same style and the same kind of attitude as Dizzy does. Clapton, also a great guitar player, but Page brings something to it. A little more fire, a little more excitement, or a little more edge. His riffs in behind what's going on, not just the solos, are just epic. Let's take a look at some of the tunes that were on this album. Little Games, Smile on Me, White Summer. Now, White Summer is a great tune, written by Page. It is a solo guitar track. I mean, here's Page doing it all. And like I say, it was really some nice stuff on there. It's well worth checking out. Tinker Tailor Soldier Sailor, Glimpses. Side 2 is Drinking Muddy Water. No Excess Baggage. Stealing, Only the Black Rose, and Little Soldier Boy. Now, not a lot of hits I recognize off that. Again, one of the big hits for the band was earlier on with that For Your Love. Not a lot of hits at this stage, but they were popular. They took over as a resident band in a club in England that the Rolling Stones originally held the position of. They'd opened for the Beatles in 1964. And again, they produced some great guitar players. Now, near the end, they were touring and doing clubs like the Fillmore in New York, but the albums were being produced to try and produce hits, and were not really reflective of what the band was doing live. So if you get a chance to hear their live albums, that's well worth checking out as well. I only picked this one because I'm a fan of Page's. I like to go back and find out some of his early works, and I really couldn't do that before. I mean, streaming has allowed me to go back and kind of delve into the history of some of these players that I grew up with later on. And again, we all know Page, history of Zeppelin and work he did post-Zeppelin, but not a lot of it on track for prior to Led Zeppelin. He was a lot like Leon Russell, I guess, early in the days. He was a studio musician, filled in for a lot of gigs. Same way Leon did, and then ended up branching out on his own. But maybe that's also why Jimmy has the chops he's got, because being a studio player, he had to fit into so many different molds. But just an excellent guitar player. If you haven't really checked him out, or if you've only listened to Zeppelin, go back and give this a listen. Like I say, that solo performance he does on this album, a lot of it on acoustic, is just well worth checking out. It's an excellent tune. So that's it for Wednesday, the Yardbirds. Take care. Everybody look out for each other. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Friday. Thanks for stopping by.